What's up, fam? I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. You're on my show I do every Monday for you right here on TeamFFLEX TV called Protein Power. And what we talk about on Protein Power is everything nutrition. We cover diets, we cover fad diets, we cover contest prep diets, we cover all types of things nutrition. And today we're going to talk about carb cycling. This is something that's been going on for a very long time, and I get questions about it all the time. And I thought I made my opinions about this clear, but maybe not enough. So we're going to do it today right here. We're going to talk all about carb cycling, all right? Do me a favor though. Subscribe to my channel and then share out the video, because remember, this is just one of 5 awesome shows I run all week for you. It's totally free to help you, your friends, your grandma, your mom, whoever it is, get results, all right? So do me a favor, subscribe to the channel and share the video. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. You are on Protein Power. So today, we're talking about carb cycling. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what it is real quick first. Carb cycling is basically a method of dieting in order to try to get better results. It's often touted that it's going to give you better results. You're going to get leaner, faster, burn more fat, whatever, if you do carb cycling. And basically how you do it is you might have a day where you have higher carbs and lower fats, and then you might have the next day be lower carbs, higher fats. So in other words, you do a high carb day, a low carb day, and your other macro, your fat basically adjusts to fit it. Usually you're keeping protein at a constant. Some people do all different variances of this. It might not be every other day alternating. It might be every few days, but whatever. Point is, carb cycling is touted to you. A lot of people, it's almost like a fad diet in many ways. As much as I don't want to say that, it's also true, because it comes up all the time, comes up right around this time of year, summer months. Competitors are always asking me about it, especially if they worked with other coaches before they train with me, and they're always like, hey, are we doing carb cycling? What's up with the carb cycling? When's the carb cycling coming in? It's crazy. The point about this, ladies and gents, that you got to understand is that really what it takes when you're dieting, it's not a lot of magic with these macros, okay? It's not a lot of magic of moving your proteins and your carbs and your fats and monitoring every second of every day and then moving them here the next day. It's not a science of that at all. That's not science at all. It's basically bro science is really what it is. The science of dieting comes down to this in the most simple form I can give you, all right? If you are in a caloric deficit, you're going to burn body fat. Now you have to understand what a caloric deficit means, right? You have your maintenance level of calories. We all have this. For me to maintain my weight, I have to eat a certain amount of calories. If I have more, I'm gaining. If I have less, I'm losing. You're the same thing. You're doing the same thing out there. Every human body is the same, all right? And pretty much most living organisms, the same kind of theory. You eat too much, you get fat. Eat little, you burn fat, okay? And that's what happens. So basically with this, you got to understand though, every single person is different. And this is where mistakes get made, okay? Mistakes get made when we put a blanket on things. When we throw a blanket over everybody and say, hey, you know what, my diet worked for me, it's going to work for you. It's going to work for her, and everyone else. And people do that all the time in the fitness industry. A lot of lazy coaching that takes place where, they're sending out the same diets to everybody, but we got people at different heights, different weights, different body compositions, and you wonder why you don't get good results. Well, at the end of the day, you got to understand the basics of dieting. Maintenance calories. Your maintenance is different for everyone else. For us to burn calories, we got to go less. That's it. For us to burn fat, in other words, we got to go less calories. That's it. That's all you got to do. And a deficit, 300, 500 calories, great place to start. A lot of people do too much too soon, and they set themselves up for failure, yo-yo dieting, rebounds, all this stuff. But here's what it takes, right? A deficit. Here's what it doesn't specifically take. Carb cycling, okay? You don't have to do carb cycling to burn fat at all, and I'm going to tell you why. So this idea of carb cycling basically stems from, the constant beratement of saying that carbs are the worst thing you could ever eat in the fitness culture. That's kind of been around forever. We still see this pop up a lot with a lot of things. And then cycling, kind of came more from the bodybuilding world, but then spread out into the fad diet kind of world. You see people now that they're 390 pounds and they're trying to carb cycle to lose weight. Well, in reality, what it comes down to, ladies and gents, is that if carb cycling is going to work for you because you like it, then great, keep doing it. If it's going to work for you because you enjoy it, great, keep doing it. If it's going to work for you, it's got to work for you long term though. That's the thing that I always say. All right, and really what's going to get you the most result all the time is the diet that's maintainable, it's sustainable, okay? I'm tired of seeing people that, they're overweight, they want to change it. There's so many people out there in the world that are in that spot where they might be morbidly obese even, and they really want to change it, and they've tried every fad diet in the book, and they can't, they think at some point they're broken. And in reality, it's not true. In reality, they're doing diets and they're doing these practices and these, these protocols that are just not suited for longevity. Meaning, in other words, you might be able to click into an extreme diet, a fad diet, or carb cycling even for that matter, for a few weeks, a week, a day. I don't know what you can do. Maybe even a few months for some of you out there. But if it doesn't last for a long term, that means your results won't either. 95% of diets, when they look at it over a long-term span of time, let's say 3 years, fail. Okay, that means 5% of people that ever lose weight, they burn body fat, they get in a certain spot, they don't ever maintain it. They eventually fall off, they lose it, and they get back to where they were, most of the time worse. Because again, I've talked about it before on this channel, the body becomes resilient. Every time you burn fat, every time you gain fat, your body fat cells become resilient. Most of you don't know this, but you never actually lose a body fat cell. Okay? The contents of the cell are full when you have fat in them. And as you burn them, they shrink. This is why you look, smaller. This is why the scale goes down. You burnt the contents of the cell. However, the cell is still here. It's still right here in your body, and as soon as you get in a surplus, you're eating too much again, it's going to grow right back up, okay? And then it multiplies the more you do, and you don't lose any of those. And guess what? Every time you burn it and you fill it again, it becomes resilient to being burned in the first place because it understands your tricks. Your body says, we know these tactics. We know you're about to jump on the carb cycling. We know you're about to jump on this type of diet, blah, blah, blah. And this is why you see so many people that try to lose weight. They can't do it at some point, right? We see a lot of competitors that, honestly, you look at a competitor and they're supposed to be the example of health in many ways, right? The best physiques, the most muscular, the leanest, blah, blah, blah. But we see them after a series of years doing these hardcore types of protocols, they just can't maintain anymore. Their bodies just don't get in the same spot, and they literally can't do more cardio or diet harder, and they won't be able to attain it. And that's their body basically doing exactly what I just said and adapting to that process, okay? So these types of things, they may work in a short-term carb cycling. There's many other methods, you guys. There's, thousands, probably tens of thousands of fad diets and other types of dieting practices and protocols out there in the world. But what I have always said is the best, in my opinion, for the everyday person, even competitors and athletes, people around the world, is flexible dieting, okay? Macro tracking flexible dieting. And if you haven't heard about macro tracking flexible dieting, let me give you the 2x2 here. It's basically you get your protein goals, your carb goals, your fat goals, and you track your foods and meet your goals. Very simple process. Here's what you don't have to do. You don't have to worry about carb cycling. You don't have to do that. You don't have to have more carbs one day and less the next day. You don't have to worry about this food or that food. Guess what you get to do when you do flexible dieting, macro tracking? You can choose your foods, ladies and gents, okay? And this still baffles people today. My career, I've done this the whole time I have been a coach. Every lifestyle client, every competitor, every type of person I've coached, I've let them choose their foods. That's what we've always done on TeamFFLEX, and we will always continue to do. And with that, guess what happens? Insane results. People always ask me, what are you talking about this transformation here I saw it on your Instagram. You're saying this guy, he's eating donuts? You're saying this girl right here, she just won her show, she was eating cookies in peak week? And I'm saying yes, it is possible. You're saying this person that lost over 100 pounds, ate whatever they wanted the whole time. Sometimes they even ate cake and drank alcohol. Yes, it's possible, ladies and gents. When you track your macros and you pick a diet that's sustainable, it's maintainable, you're gonna get results. Again, again, the key to a diet, right? A diet overall is the deficit. You got to get in the deficit. That's a no-brainer. You have to have that or you're not going to burn body fat, okay? And then you got to have something you can consistently stay in a deficit with. In other words, a lot of these, carb cycling and this other types of cheat meal diets and all this stuff, it encourages you to basically be very strict on something for a short period of time with the idea that you're gonna, go off that. And a lot of times when people go off that, it's in a micro scale of time. We're talking about a week, a few days, whatever, where they'll go, oh, I'm in a diet, and then, oops, I ate a whole pizza. This is what the community has done, but basically what that does is it resets you back at zero. It makes your results so much slower than they could actually be if you were just consistent every day. In other words, if you knew how to take your cheat meal pizza or your high carb day pasta or whatever it is that you're eating and put it into your daily intake in an amount that fits your macronutrient goals, guess what? You can have the food you want, you can get your goals met, and you can be on the fastest track to results possible. 1, 2, 3! And I know still to this day, every time I do videos like this, there's people out there that say, dude, this is not true. You can't say this. You can't encourage people to do this. And I'm just going to tell you guys the facts, all right? I've been a coach for many, many years, all right? 10 years now I've been training people. It's been the only job I've ever had. And with that, I've understood after training thousands, over 20,000 lifestyle client transformations on TeamFFLEX as a whole, by the way, and over almost 2,000 top placing competitors at this point over the years. With that, I've realized, hey, guess what? There's some constants that work for all people, and that's letting people learn and adapt to diets that will work for them. One of the biggest problems with the whole meal plan culture and the clean eating culture and all this stuff is the fact that it doesn't teach you a damn thing as a client, all right? It doesn't teach you anything, right? I could make a meal plan all day and say, hey, stick to this. People can do it. Yeah, they can click right in and do it, but at the end of the day, your results end when the meal plan ends. Your results end when you're tired of the meal plan, unless you get on another one. So what are you going to do? Just live your entire life on meal plans? Doesn't sound like the best way to get progress and then keep it. What actually does work though is when you get yourself in the mode to say, okay, here's the goals I have to hit. Now I'm going to take control of that as the athlete, as the client, and I'm going to pick my foods. Maybe today I want to have a little bit of rice with lunch. Maybe tomorrow I want to have oatmeal, whatever. Who am I to tell you that? Who is your coach to tell you that? At the end of the day, it's a lot of bro science. It's a lot of coaches trying to push things on people because they actually don't know how to teach people this kind of stuff. But I know from all these years of work and all these transformations and all these clients I've worked with, the best things are the things that work in the constant term and also the ones that educate the client. Because guess what? I'm going to be honest with you guys. When our clients, at some point they might need to quit, they might need to cancel, they might need to be, moving on from TeamFFLEX, and that happens sometimes. Life comes in the way. People can't afford their bills anymore. This whole pandemic has happened. It's changed a lot of things. But I know wholeheartedly the stuff that I teach my clients, the stuff we teach our clients on TeamFFLEX, they take with them and they can carry it through the next 50, 60 years of their life, and they can do very well with it. And that's what's important to me. At the end of the day, it's about teaching people how they can live their healthiest life so they can be their best and they can help their friends and all those different things. Achieve your goals, be the example, be the person, get where you want to be. And now this has turned into a whole separate rant. Sorry, I know it started with carb cycling, but at the end of the day, I just feel so passionately about this. This is the truth, ladies and gents. This is how you can get results. This is how you get long-term real results. I'm not one of those coaches that wants to sell you a meal plan every month and be like, oh, come back for your meal plan. Oh, come back for your meal plan. Oh, I'm not about that. I think that's a ripoff. I think that's a scam. I want to teach clients so that they can teach themselves and they can learn more and they can do more and get better. And that's exactly what macro tracking, flexible dieting will do for any of you out there. Seriously, I mean it. All right. And I want to invite anybody who made it this far in this video to go to my website, TeamFFLEX.com. You can try our free coaching trial out. And I'm more than happy to talk with you more about macros, nutrition, whatever. The trial basically gives you the opportunity to come in and work work with me or one of my coaches totally free for the next 7 days. We treat you just like a client, where you get invited into our private coaching app where, you know, we'll set you up with your own custom workouts, show you how the app works, show you around, teach you some stuff. At the very least, you're going to leave with more knowledge. You're going to have more power that you can take with you after these next 7 days to, you know, propel your results, get further, do more, get better. That's the goal all the time. And again, there's absolutely no obligation. You're not putting your card information in, nothing. It's totally free to you. All you got to do is go to my website, TeamFFLEX.com, put your email in that box, and I hope to see you on the other side. At the end of the day, ladies and gents, when it comes to these nutrition things, if you still don't think that these things can be done, I really want to encourage you to go check out the app, all right? Check out the trial, TeamFFLEX.com, and I hope you got something out of this video today. If you did, do me a favor, subscribe right here, and then if you really want to help more people, share it out, all right? That's what does the best for everybody involved. Get some more knowledge out, absorb more knowledge, become a sponge, and then decide what's the best fit for you, you guys. And at the end of the day, I think it is flexible dieting, all right? Thanks for watching Protein Power. I'm Ryan Milton from TeamFFLEX. See you back tomorrow for the Iron Palace. Coach Rye is out.